Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on another Friday morning. If we haven't met yet, my name is Angela Olmos. I'm a full-time realtor in the Northeast Florida area. I'm with Momentum Realty, and I'm here with my co-host, Delaney Bravo with Fiverr Mortgage. How are you doing, Delaney?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're excited about this week's content, which we prepared for you guys. So let me just go ahead and bring this up into the screen so we can dive right into it. So if you guys have been following us at all, every week we come up with information that we feel would be valuable for anyone that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And today's topic has everything to do with wanting to buy a home, but perhaps you're questioning if right now would be the right time to do so. So there's basically two things that you want to ask yourself if you are really considering buying a home. And one of the questions would be, where do you think prices are heading, which I'll dive into here shortly. And then the second question would be about interest rates. Where do you think the mortgage rates are heading? So the truth of it is that nobody has a crystal ball to know for sure. But what I do as a professional realtor is I study this market and I lead into what the experts are saying. And based on several different surveys, there's something called the home price expectation surveys that actually, gets a lot of the input from a lot of people that, have a great deal of knowledge about what kind of expectation we could have as far as appreciation in real estate. And this is what they've come up with. We are going to still see some appreciation. It's not going to be like the 20 or 30% that we have seen in the last few years, but it's going to be a moderate, more realistic percentage of appreciation. And only one of those really smart people said that it would be very, very low dip in appreciation, not even 1%, by the way. So everyone is still optimistic that our prices will remain stable. If not, they will actually rise a little. So if you're thinking about buying, I think it would be best for you to make that decision to do so sooner rather than later, because if you wait, just based on this, and what the experts are saying, you could potentially be paying as much as close to 5% more for the same home later on. Where if you buy now, then you can start building equity and securing your own investment. So that's as it relates to the first question. Now, as far as the second question, where do I think mortgage rates are heading? I'll tell you exactly the same thing. No one knows for sure. No one has a crystal ball. But there are certain things that we can look at for indicators. And certain things like over the past year, mortgage rates have definitely risen in response to economic uncertainty, inflation, and more. Okay, so if we know that to be true, then what the experts are saying, that the mortgage rates will possibly pull back slightly over the next few quarters. So right now we're entering the third quarter of 2023. And it's saying that there's an average rate in the market of about 6.3. And Delaney, you can have a whole lot to say on this. Do you feel that these numbers are pretty realistic? How do you feel about that?
So yes, however, in all circumstances, we're going to be using for, representative rates, they're going to go off of top tiers. So you're looking at a 25% down, most likely, conventional FHA, VA rate with, 25% down, good credit. So this is a good overview, but just know that your situation may give different rates. But for the comparison aspect, this is right on the money with what I have been studying as well, that we're going to look at seeing a decrease in the rates within the next 12 months.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so that's very exciting for buyers. Now, one of the things that you do want to keep in mind of is that if you do buy a home now and mortgage rates don't change, you still made a good decision since home prices are projected to grow within time. So at least you beat the rising prices of the home that you're buying. Now, if you buy now and mortgage rates fall, which is projected, you still made a good decision by buying now, because in the case that they do go lower, you could always refinance. So you're not committed to the rate. What you want to be committed to is the bigger picture, the house, the investment, building a life in it. how this could actually be something that's going to create more net worth for you. The rate is something that could be temporary. So if they do fall, then you could always refinance. Now, if you buy now and the mortgage rates do rise, if this happens, then you definitely made a great decision because you bought before the price of the home went up and before the mortgage rates went up. So truly, the bottom line is if you're thinking about buying a home, you need to know these facts. You need to think about everything that could be, potentially happening in the future. And I say potentially because no one really knows for sure. So all that we can do is look at these indicators, and I wanted to bring this to you so that way I give you some perspective, and just most importantly, just kind of keep in line and know that the most important thing is to buy the house. The interest rate could be refinanced later on, and there's a lot of other things that are going to be beneficial for you by having done this, that Delaney is going to tap into here in just a minute, because you're going to be able to start building equity. So that's what I have for you guys this week. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the link to my blog so you guys can read more about it. There are some downloads there that you can download for free. And if I could answer any questions, I'm here to help.
Well, and this will bleed into my topic, but here in my experience, and I've been doing it for like 8 or 9 years. You've been doing it for how many? Is it like 13 to 15?
Yeah. So I started, actually, my license was from 2004. So I'm actually going to my 20th year next year. But I started selling in 2005 with like new construction. And then I went into resale when Gabriel was born in 2015. So yeah, I've been around for a long time. Dating myself here.
Right. And we've been through a lot of different markets. Here's the bottom line. This is just my experience, and I am not in the business of convincing anybody to buy a home. I'm here to give the information and share what my experience has been. But I have about 30 to 35 pre-approved buyers that are all waiting for rates to come down to purchase a home. I am one loan officer. So think about how many people are waiting in the wings. What we're going to have happen is if you wait, yes, rates will be lower, but prices are going to drive up. If you don't have 25% down conventional, no house to sell contingencies, it's going to be very hard to purchase a home when these rates come down. So you have to pick your poison. Rates a little bit higher, refinance in the next year, pay a little bit more, or go out in a year, get no credits from the seller, and be ready to be beat out unless you have substantial funds to put down. So you're going to have, it's not going to be both at the same time. So just be prepared for that. And that's why buying a home now is, in my opinion, the smartest choice, because it's not just about dating. Like people say, I want to date the rate and marry the house. So that is where I think the market's heading, and echoing everything that you just said.
Yep. Spot on. We're right on it.
And then let me bring up what I'm looking at today. Let us see, window, and here. Okay, so I'm going to go kind of along the same lines in general here. I am using a second screen I don't usually use. Okay, so buying versus renting. Let's look at 2021 to current. Okay, so we're going to be looking right up against what we are going through with the pandemic on buying and renting. So the estimated rate in 2021 was a 3.5%. This was a market where you would have to have 20% down to really have a shot at a home, because there were so many buyers flooding the market due to the low interest rates, which is what is going to happen when rates go down within the next 12 months. This is from personal experience and research. A studio apartment in 2021 was $699. Both of these are representative of Duval County. The current rate in today is around a 6.5%. So exactly the same as what you shared. The current rent for that same exact studio apartment is $1,200. That is a 71% increase in your payment versus just taking the interest rates. Now, on the buy side, we are not talking about appreciation in the home you bought as of yet. We're talking about just your increase in payment. That would be a 43% increase in just the principal and interest. We're looking at the exact same prices. We're not accounting for the difference in the market on the value. So you would have an increase in payment for that rate. Now, if you had the current rates, you'd be at a 6.5% interest rate on your mortgage. You would be paying 100% interest on renting. You are getting nothing in return. You are paying the landlord's mortgage. You are paying the landlord for your apartment. You are gaining 0% equity. So not only a 71% increase in the same exact, home or apartment, also 100% interest. On top of that, based off of the astronomical appreciation that has occurred in the market, just like that rent has gone from $699 to $1,200, what about if you owned that property and you were banking that difference? So what I'm looking at now is a home that was priced at $230, which is what I did this off of, in 2021 is, loosely going to be worth $330, $300, even higher than that, $350, $375 I've seen. And you can probably attest to this.
Sure.
And that increase is a savings account for you. You're locked in when you buy the home. On rent, it's whatever the landlord sets. When their rate goes up on the current market, they're just going to mirror what's happening around them. So apartments increase, they're going to increase. They got to stay competitive. So you are banking that $80,000 to $1,000 or $100,000 in return. You can pull against that for a home equity loan. You could use that to buy another property, rinse and repeat this process. So it is based on the numbers, not advantageous to continue renting if you're in a position where you can buy. I have multiple down payment assistance programs. I have low down payment options. And again, you can request the seller to cover some of your costs to lower your amount out of pocket, which again, when these rates come down, is not going to happen. You can't have low interest rates in a buyer's market at the same time. It's just not possible. That, we could do a ton of analogies, but that's like the ticket prices of going to a concert come way down, but you still want the seats for the same price. It just, supply and demand just doesn't work like that in any aspect of business. So what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to explain is that renting right now is not advantageous. When you are looking to apply for a mortgage, I can do a soft pull. It does not hit your credit in any way. And we can plan and show you, if you are now paying $1,200 for that studio apartment, we could get you into a comparable home, build appreciation, and you could be netting like an interest rate of 6.5% and saving $300-$400 a month. So please reach out to us. Angela can find the house. I'm the geeky number girl. So we can make it happen for you. So, what do you think, Angela? Do you think this is all kind of on like spot on?
Yeah. So there were two things that I made note of. One of them you said at the very beginning is that you're not here to convince anyone to buy a house. And I'm with you 1000% on that, because this is not about convincing. You generally want to have to do this. You have to want to do this for it to work. It's a process. So even though I have come across as super excited and very convincing, because I believe it myself and how beneficial this could be for someone's life, not just now, but in the future too, to make an investment like this, that I might get you so excited. But if you're not truly believing in it, there's going to be some point in the process that we go through, whether it's inspections or underwriting or insurance, where you might actually have to come to terms with that. So before you start the process, make sure that you really buy into the idea of how this is going to be beneficial for you, more than just buying the house, because truly there are so many benefits. Now, you mentioned a whole lot of benefits. There's one more that I don't think that a lot of people know, is that yes, these rates might be higher, but remember, the interest rate on your mortgage is tax deductible when you file your taxes at the end of the year. So in essence, you could be having and you might want to check with your accountant on this, because this will be more pertinent to like a CPA, but if you are paying a higher interest rate, that should mean that you're getting a higher deduction on your taxes because of that mortgage rate. So that's one thing. I think that was important. Yeah. So I'm 1000% with you on that. And then also the point about the rates coming down and then everyone wanting to jump into the market. Absolutely. So you could be waiting on a lower interest rate, But because you waited for that moment when the rate dropped, when everyone else was trying to jump in, then there's so much demand that price would be higher that could actually outweigh the benefit of a lower interest rate. So let's not wait for a lower rate. Let's just take advantage of the situation, how things are right now, with the right guidance and the right tools to help you get what you want.
Well, and if rates were, if rent was still $699 on that studio apartment, it makes more sense. You know what I mean? But it's just, if you look at it from three angles. First, if you're renting right now, you're paying 100% interest. You're getting no appreciation, no equity. Number two, you are also waiting on interest rates to come down. When they come down, you can refinance anyway. Like you are going to be waiting on rates to come down, whether you're in a home or whether you're renting. The last thing is the price of homes now is still going to net you a lower monthly payment than renting. So lower monthly payment, you're getting no appreciation and you're paying 100% interest. Unless you have a very specific situation, it does not make sense to rent, especially in Northeast Florida. We are in one of the highest increased rental markets in the country. It is where it's at, but the interest rates are across the board. So you are locked in. That is a huge benefit as well. So tons of reasons. Angela can find you the house. I can do all of the numbers and we will get you where you want to be. And it's literally zero risk, zero cost for me to take a look. Also for Angela to do a buyer consultation, which is where she digs into your specific criteria in making sure that we can find you something that fits your family's needs. So give us a ring and we would love to help you.
Yeah, and the process is super easy. Like anytime you want to make a serious purchase, you would want to know how you're going to pay for it. So Delaney has all the opportunities that you guys need with all the mortgage programs to know exactly how you're going to pay for it. So that's where you would start. You get your pre-approval letter, and then we take that amount that you've been pre-approved for and then go see the homes. So you don't always want to start seeing the homes before you get pre-approved. No, you want to take your number one first, and then we'll proceed with the process. So Delaney's information is on the bottom of the screen. Connect with her to get pre-approved, and then I will be glad to, at that point, do like a buyer's consultation with you guys, which we could do via Zoom, or we could meet at my office or at Starbucks, wherever's convenient, so I can actually like walk you through the process that we're going to go through. And this is going to eliminate so many surprises through the process and actually save us time, because then you would know which direction we're heading into. I find a lot of times when people are not sure of how the process would go, then you end up just going around in circles and wasting a lot of time and just not very efficient. So we do definitely want to get pre-approved first, and then let's do a buyer consultation.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So what else is fun and happening this weekend, Delaney?
Yes, I have a second screen, so let me move my monitor over so I can read it. So we have Summer at the Cummer, which is a fun little thing.
That's a beautiful place right on the river.
I went to a wedding there and it was absolutely beautiful there in the garden. So this is today, the 7th, 4 to 9 p.m. It's free admission at the Cummer Museum. There are 2 bands playing on the cafe patio and the upper tier. So, and then it's also July 14th, 21st, 28th. It's going all the way through summer. So this is a Friday night, fun little date night, something to do, check out the museum, and free admission. So always a fun one. Again, Jacksonville, Northeast Florida has so many fun events like this, and we show you every single week what we got going on. I got another one for the kiddos and family. So Bluey, I don't know. My daughter never really got into Bluey, but I have a nephew who is obsessed. So they have a play, and they're coming. There's 4 performances over this weekend. I don't know, your boys are a little bit older. Were they ever into Bluey?
No, mine are probably too cool for school these days for Bluey. Is this the same Blue's Clues that I'm thinking?
No. So Blue's Clues, that's back in our day, Steve. from Blue's Clues with the green stripes.
Yeah, it's
But
been a while.
no, I know we're mail time. No, I'm just kidding. This is a new show, so super fun, super cute. So it's about a little German Shepherd and his family. So really cute. So something fun. It's an FSCJ artist series. It's at the let's see, I think it's at the Times Union Center. So there's the box office, tickets are $34.50 and there's hours there. So we'll put the link in the comments, but a little fun thing if you got young ones. And lastly is a concert. It is Dierks Bentley, which is a country artist, with Jordan Davis and Kaylee Hammack. I don't know who those two are. I've heard of Dierks Bentley, but really fun country concert. Always a fun time. You can put on your cowboy boots and check it out. Daly's Place is a beautiful venue right next to the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. So something that's happening this Thursday, July 13th. And it is in the evening, starting at like 5:00 p.m. So something really fun and a couple things going on around town.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for bringing those in. I hope that people take advantage of this. I've always listened to your recommendations, and I've taken a few myself too. So they always end up being a great time and good fun.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So that's what we have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please feel free to share this. It doesn't take but just a minute to hit the share button. Make sure that you share this with anyone in your sphere. You never know who might be in the process of wanting to buy a home, and you don't want them to go about this alone or to find, some of these as surprises throughout the process. We have all the tools and resources and the knowledge to help them get there. So I hope that you think of us for all your real estate needs. And until next time, remember to be kind to one another, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.